The Pathways to Knowledge model of information processing identifies 6 stages that students go through when learning to process information. They are appreciation, pre-search, search, interpretation, communication, and evaluation. More information on this can be found in the Technology as Facilitator of Quality Education model. The students in a business class at an alternative high school are using Capitalism Plus simulation software to create their own virtual corporations. The students choose the type of business, the location, and the type of product they want to produce and sell. The students can pursue their curiosity about the different aspects of starting and running a business. And the Capitalism Plus simulation allows them to enjoy the challenge of competing against other virtual corporations. As the students participate in the activity, they demonstrate the appreciation stage of information processing. The students demonstrate the pre-search stage of information processing before they start their business simulation. The teacher and students discuss key terms, such as profit and revenue, to help students build background information which will help them succeed as virtual CEOs. The students make connections between their previous knowledge and the situations they encounter on the Capitalism Plus simulation.
What are those 3 things? What is profit?
How much you've made off of it.
Okay, how much you've made off of it. And what is revenue? Anybody know what revenue is? What's the difference between profit and revenue? Which one do you think is better? Or which one would you be more concerned with, profit or revenue?
Profit.
Why?
Because you need profit to run your company.
Okay, you need profit to run your company. If you make a profit, that's good, right? If you don't make a profit, you have a what?
This activity also helps the students define their information needs. They have to collect all this financial information and post it on a corporate website that they create. The website gives their corporate stockholders financial information about their corporation. The students use a tutorial on Capitalism Plus to run 3 pricing tests on a product. The tests help them understand how changes in product price will affect revenue, profit, and the quantity sold of the product. As the students conduct their analysis, they gather information for decisions they make about their own virtual corporations. This demonstrates the search stage of information processing.
Do you know yours, Chris? Okay, now put your numbers down also for each one. So your profit for that was $550,000. So put that in there and then do your revenue and quantity sold also. Did you get all yours, Christy? Okay, you got your numbers? Let me see. Okay, you want to write down your numbers also. So for like quantity sold, you had 170,000, so put that in there. And then, I'm sorry, that's right.
The students compare and contrast the ways that raising and lowering the price of their product can affect the revenue and profit and the supply and demand curves for their product. The students draw conclusions about the effects price can have on the revenue and profit of their corporation. This demonstrates the interpretation stage of information processing.
Let's look back at profit. Which test, the control test, the increased price or the decreased price, gave you the most profit? So you need to look back at your graph, turn back on your sheets, and see which one gave you the greatest profit for your product. Which one? The one you just did now? Okay, lowering the price. Does everybody agree with that? What'd you have, Derek?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Now, how about your supply and demand lines for this one? What happened to the supply and demand lines? What's that? Okay, so now your blue line, which is your supply, is much shorter than your demand line, which is your red. Now that means you have 1 bottle of shampoo up there on the shelf, but you have 3 people who want to buy it. So you're not able to meet your demand for that product because, why? What'd you do?
Lowered the prices to people.
Yeah, you made it so cheap that it's such a great deal that everybody wants to go out and buy your bottle of shampoo now.
The students further demonstrate the interpretation stage of information processing as they discuss their progress. The students analyze and integrate concepts as they examine the business statistics of each student's virtual corporation.
Okay, why'd you decide on Quest?
Well, because their PE ratio is up.
Okay.
The price is pretty average.
Okay, there's Doc. What else? Go to the corporate detail and tell me what else you saw in there that you...
Well, their stock's kind of going down, but it's also been going up
just
a
shot
lot.
up.
Well,
What about up in here? Is there anything up here that you think is good about them?
their net worth is pretty high. Annual profit is everything's pretty much pretty.
Okay, what do you think about their cash? Is 86 million a lot?
Yeah, it's well, not exactly a lot, but
Okay, it's not as much as it could be, but they've only been in business for about, what, 5-6 months here? So they got quite a bit of cash. You know, considering when you start out, you only start with 10 million. You know, they were already at 86 million after only a few months. So yeah, that looks like a good company.
The students demonstrate the evaluation stage of information processing as they type a reflection paragraph on what they have accomplished during this activity. This gives them an opportunity to assess their personal information process. Students use tracking tools by keeping a computer journal of their progress, giving them time to reflect.
Okay, Jason, you're talking here about, you said, I also kept an eye on revenue. Well, what about the revenue? Explain that a little more in detail. You know, was it going up or was it going down? Or maybe why were you keeping an eye on it? You just explain that a little bit more.
After composing the paragraph, the students read it to their classmates and the teacher. This helps the students check for effective communication of new knowledge. The students demonstrate the communication stage of information processing when they use and post information on the corporate websites they created. They put daily press releases on their websites to explain changes in profit and revenue and to justify their management decisions. They also organize information for their stockholders, presenting their corporation's financial data graphically and describing variations in the data.
What you need to do below your graph on your website here is to define annual revenue. You need to explain the variations in your annual revenue graph. So you need to explain why it went up and why it went down in certain years. As you can see here, Jason, yours is going down, so you need to explain why it's going down. And Derek, you need to explain why your annual revenue went up. And then forecast where you think your annual revenue is headed and why. What is your annual revenue ranking in Capitalism Plus? And what specific products do you think contributed most to your annual revenue?